Hey, making this page Cacao Ceremony, I came with a specific intention to have a page focused on cacao outside of Therootdoctress, my formal spiritual page that documents my spiritual journey and splinters in the many facets that I have developed over time. Wow. I'm currently settling into my heart how industrialized ceremony is when it comes to cacao. Mind you, my coming into cacao was quite organic. You could say it was outside of the cacao ceremonial sphere, meaning I was developing a relationship outside of knowing what cacao ceremony is, whether it be the indigenous ceremony or the modern ceremony. I just knew cacao was asking me to work with her, and I slowly developed my relationship until it was only until 2 years into developing that relationship that I even knew the words cacao and ceremony went together in an indigenous or a modern way. When I went to Costa Rica on the Bri Cacao Farm, which is an indigenous farm tour, and we sat with cacao, I don't remember them talking about cacao ceremony. I do remember them saying that there was an economic tie, there was a family tie, meaning as they came together to break the beans and sort the seeds and remove the husk, it was almost ritualistic, as I just remember there was like a music to it. And I am following about 64 accounts that are focused on cacao. Woo! I'm seeing cacao think pieces from indigenous peoples that are directly connected to the soil that cacao originates from. I'm seeing opinions and thought forms on people who are quite distant from the land but work closely with the plant, and maybe even more closely than people who live on the land that cacao originates from, because maybe they just weren't called to work with cacao in a ceremonial way. But doesn't mean that it's not a part of their community relations. Anyways, seeing all this, child, it is overwhelming. And I'm just like, look, I'm slowly being more called to the word gathering than ceremony now. Now that all these lineages and stories and parts are folding together, I'm leaning more into the word gathering, leaning more into the focus of ancestral memories, leaning more into the purpose of storytelling, meaning a circle of conversation and not me talking, like, frankly, talking at people, but us coming together in conversation. That feels best to me of how I want to sit with cacao. And also I'm seeing cacao as being a bridge, not only between like the heartbeat of us and of the land and of cacao, but being a bridge to incorporate other ancestral plant medicines into a cup. Yes, frankly, like adding other ingredients to cacao, and cacao being the medium to hold them all together in our bodies, to deliver the medicine in our bodies. And for people who also sit with cacao, I really want to know, how does that settle into you? What comes up when you hear me speak of this? And there's some other things that I'm still settling into, but child, this is interesting. And then there's the commercialization of chocolate itself that's outside of the cacao ceremony industry that I am loving learning about, especially the Ghanaian protests and outreach that's going on to make sure that they have sovereignty in their cacao plants, meaning not focusing on exporting their plants, but producing it right there in Ghana. That's amazing. I'm learning a lot. Didn't know about that. And I love seeing how farmers across the world are connecting with cacao for finance, for economy, for survival, as a means of work. So it's just interesting. I'm learning so much. And yeah, quite frankly, some things are rubbing me the wrong way, but I'm kneeling into it. I'm learning. I'm not running away from it. So thanks, that's it.